CSIR has announced its call for CSIR Direct SRF 2026. If you are looking for a fellowship during your PhD in the later stages of it, then today's video is for you. Deadline is 17 September 2026. Today's video would be a complete guide to eligibility stipend application process. Let's begin. The Human Resource Development Group of CSIR. This is a part of CSIR itself. It provides training to researchers in different places. It could be universities, laboratories, government organizations, other recognized institutions where this research is carried out. This is a full-time fellowship. You need to give 2 years of dedicated time for this. So if you are employed anywhere, then this is probably not a good option. Applications for this are completely online. There is no application fee. Portal has opened on 18th of August 2026 and it will remain open till 17th of September 2026. So you need to apply before that. We will come to documentation and the process later. If you are applying for this, there are total 6 routes by which you can avail of this fellowship. First is if you are your masters, if you have your master in science or BE or BTech, okay, if you have these 3 degrees with aggregate of 55% of marks. SCI journal means Science Citation Index journal. The list of these journals you can easily get on the internet. At least 2 years of a research experience. So you have done your masters, you have 55% of marks and you have a publication. Then you can definitely apply for this. The second route is either you do your MTech or ME. In this case, you do not need any research experience, but you do require 60% of marks for this. Route 3 is BTech or BE. You have 60% of marks. In this case, you do not require any publication, but you do need 2 years of research experience. If this is there, then also it's fine. Route 4 is you have your MBBS or BDS degree with 60% of marks and 1 year of internship. There is no publication requirement in this case. Route 5 is you have your BPharm, Bachelor's in Veterinary Sciences or BSc in Agriculture. If you have these 3 degrees, then you need minimum 55% of marks in your aggregate, 1 publication in SCI journal, and at least 3 years of research experience. Route 6 is if you have your MPharm, Masters in Veterinary Sciences, MSc in Agriculture, or MPhil. If you have these degrees, then you need minimum 55% of marks, 1 publication in a journal, and at least 1 year of research experience. Now, when I've said all these routes, if you are in your PhD and you have these qualifications, obviously, then also you can apply. Most of these fellowships are actually availed by students or scholars in their PhD. One thing to note over here is if you have your PhD or MD or MS or MDS equivalent, if you have these degrees which have been awarded or submitted, then you are not eligible for this. The fellowship is offered on full-time basis, so you cannot work anywhere else while you are doing this. If you are working somewhere temporarily or if you are working in a permanent position, then you have to give an undertaking that you are prepared to resign from this job if you get selected over here. If the undertaking is not provided, the application gets rejected. So as I've already mentioned, the fellowship amount is 42,000 rupees. This amount is payable during the duration of your PhD or until the date of your PhD viva, final viva. Apart from this, you will get 20,000 rupees as your contingent. The duration of this is 2 years. After that, it will be evaluated by a 3-member committee, and if your research is found to be useful, then it would be continued by another 1 year. One thing that I do need to tell you is if you have previously held or are currently undertaking fellowships by DST, UGC, ICAR, ICMR, PBT or any other funding agency, then also you are eligible to apply for this. The age limit for this is 32 years. That said, there is relaxation for SC, ST women candidates as well as physically disabled candidates, and the relaxation is of 5 years as per Government of India norms, and it is for 3 years for OBC candidates. Selection is based on an interview. You would be called for an interview and 4 criteria would be checked: your academic record, your experiments, viva on your publications, assessment on your proposed research work, what work you will be doing after getting SRF accreditation. You will be questioned on that as well. This is for SC and ST candidates. If you are selected for an interview, then you would be reimbursed with travel allowance. Okay, it would be second class train fare. The next part is subject code, and this is very important. So the subject code needs to be selected based on your past qualifications, your experience, as well as in which area you will be working. And you can select one code per application. You can't select multiple. One more thing that I need to tell you is once you select the subject code, it cannot be changed afterwards. So when you are selecting, discuss with your supervisor, discuss with your colleagues, discuss with your seniors, and then select subject code. These are all the subjects which are relevant, and you can pick whichever one and use that as the final code for your application. The candidates who are working in environmental science, they have specifically different sections under this. If your research work falls in any of these areas, then you have to use environment 32 as your subject code. Then there is one more subject, science and technology, STS 71. If your research work falls in any of these areas, then you can definitely apply under that. There is one important distinction over here. If you have a master's degree, even in management, social science, commerce, and related areas specified in the advertisement, then also you can apply for SRF Direct under this particular STS 71 code, provided that is the area you would be selecting after your application gets selected. This is a good option because if you have done your master's in any other field and you are getting into interdisciplinary research, then this is a good opportunity for you to start your work under this particular subject code. Next, we have transdisciplinary research. Transdisciplinary research, when you are working on a subject which involves 2 to 3 more fields, okay? You have microbiology also, you have genomics also, you have bioinformatics also. All these different fields are coming under one. Then you will go for TDR 81 category. The reason being CSIR is encouraging transdisciplinary research. You may be working in any field, but once your SRF Direct gets approved, in that case, your work has to have a transdisciplinary component, okay? There should be several fields for your work. Environ 32, STS 71, TDR 81. These are 3 specific inclusions that have been made in these categories to encourage research in these particular subjects. Before you start filling your application, here are some of the rules that I need to tell you. First, there will be one subject code per application, and you cannot change the subject code after submitting your application. Your details have to be clearly mentioned in column 19. I will tell you just in a while what is column 19 and how to fill up the form. One thing that I need to tell you is you have to mention the relevant experience, your relevant research experience. If you are counting your PhD as a research experience, then the proof of your enrollment, your registration of PhD, that needs to be attached. A testimonial or a recommendation letter will not be accepted as proof of research experience. You have to show the registration certificate of your PhD. All the certificates that you are attaching in this application form, once you will be called for interview, you need to have your originals for showing up at the time of verification. If you have applied for CSIR Direct earlier more than 3 times, okay, if you have applied for 3 times and you have not got selected, you need not apply again. The interview date will not be changed on request from candidates. Okay, these are some of the things that I thought are important and I should tell you. Before I start with the application, let's go through some of the documents that you need to keep ready. First, your photo, your signature, then your age proof. It could be a birth certificate, could also be a combined degree or PhD registration submission, anything that has your date of birth. Your caste certificate, physically disabled certificate if necessary. If you are an employed candidate who is applying for this, then you need an undertaking saying that once you get this fellowship, you will leave your job. You also need a declaration and a signed undertaking by your supervisor and the head of the institution along with your signature. Also, your research proposal is required for this. What will you do for 2 years if you get selected? And you will get selected if you prepare for it right. All these online documents have to be in PDF format and the file size has to be less than 400 MB. Now that we are aware of all the documents, let's move ahead with the application process. Right from registration, right from filling up the form to submission, let's begin. Now that we have seen the entire application process, one thing that I still would want to repeat is that your subject code is critical in this case, not just because CSIR has asked you to fill it correctly, but because it will decide which interview panel you will face. If you select one subject code, you will be directed to those experts who will question you on that. So be really clear about it. Once your application form fill up is done, the thing that you will be preparing most is your interview. And I have done a detailed video interviewing a candidate who has actually received CSIR Direct SRF. You really do not want to miss it, because it doesn't make sense. If your form fill up is correct, you are called for an interview and you get rejected at the interview stage after doing all this. I'll see you in this video. Till the next time,